Mate, this is massive. Liverpool are lining up an £80 million Van Dijk replacement. Jamie Carragher is demanding 3 major signings, and the club has just made a mega offer to replace Harvey Elliott, and the agent confirmed it. Who's coming in? Who's leaving? And what does this mean for Liverpool's future? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what's going on behind the scenes at Anfield. So hit that like button, subscribe, and let's dive in. Alright, mate, let's talk about something that might sting a little. Liverpool are already planning for life after Virgil van Dijk. Now, before you start panicking, this doesn't mean he's packing his bags just yet, but let's be real, the club has to be prepared for whatever happens. The biggest conversation this transfer window has been about keeping Van Dijk, Mo Salah, and Trent Alexander-Arnold at Anfield. Their contracts are running down, and there's still no official word on whether they're signing new deals. It's all up in the air, and with every passing week, the tension builds. Arne Slot, obviously, isn't about to let any of them walk out the door if it hurts the Premier League title push, but there's a real risk that these 3 pillars of the squad could become free agents in the not-so-distant future. The rumours have been flying for months, some saying they're staying, others suggesting the opposite, and honestly, until the club makes an official announcement, it's all just speculation. But now, a fresh report is suggesting that Liverpool have already started looking at who could step into Van Dijk's colossal shoes. When Van Dijk arrived from Southampton in 2017, he didn't just strengthen the defence, he transformed it. He turned Liverpool into an absolute powerhouse at the back, leading the charge to Premier League and Champions League glory. So, naturally, if the time comes for him to move on, Liverpool need to get it absolutely right with whoever replaces him. The latest name being thrown into the mix is Murillo from Nottingham Forest. The club is said to have serious interest in the 22-year-old, who's been making waves in the Premier League. He's young, strong, and exactly the kind of player Liverpool like to mould into a star. He's only just signed a new deal with Forest, but apparently, he's open to a move to Anfield if the clubs can agree on a fee. And that's where things get tricky. Forest aren't exactly in the mood to sell, and if they do, it won't be cheap. We're talking at least £80 million. The idea is that Murillo would be a long-term investment, someone who could step in and take over the mantle from Van Dijk when the time comes. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, Van Dijk hasn't gone anywhere yet, and there's still a chance he stays. Melissa Reddy has reported that both Van Dijk and Salah are keen to remain at the club, even if the negotiations are dragging on longer than expected. Apparently, there's been some frustration on their end about how long it's taking to sort everything out, but the expectation is that an agreement will eventually be reached. Van Dijk himself was asked about his contract situation back in January, and, well, he didn't exactly give much away. When Sky Sports asked if there was any progress, his answer was simple: nothing. No updates, no hints, just the classic cool and calm approach. He's not stressing, but let's be honest, it would be nice to get some clarity. At the end of the day, Liverpool are doing what any top club has to do, preparing for the future while still focusing on the present. Whether Van Dijk stays or goes, the club will be ready. But as a Liverpool fan, you just have to hope that the captain sticks around for a while longer. Okay, now let's talk transfers, because Jamie Carragher has been having his say on where Liverpool need to strengthen, and honestly, he's got a point. The Reds might be flying high at the top of the Premier League, but according to Cora, there are a few gaps that need filling if this team is going to stay at the very top. Carragher reckons Liverpool should be looking at 3 key areas: a proper centre-forward, an attacking midfielder, and a left-sided defender. And let's be real, after a quiet January transfer window, you can't help but wonder if he's right. Liverpool didn't bring in any major signings last month, and while Arne Slot has done a brilliant job with the squad he's got, there's still room for improvement. So far, the only immediate addition Slot has made since stepping into Klopp's shoes last summer is Federico Chiesa. The Italian winger came in for £12.5 million, but he's barely had a look in, clocking just 280 minutes of football at Anfield so far. And, of course, there's Georgi Mamardashvili, the highly rated goalkeeper from Valencia, who'll be joining at the end of the season. But beyond that? It's been quiet, too quiet, if you ask Carragher. And he's not wrong. Right now, Liverpool are leading the league, but there are still question marks over some key positions. Up front, Diogo Jota and Darwin Núñez have both had their moments, but Carragher believes the Reds could find an upgrade. Jota is clinical, no doubt about that, but injuries have been a recurring issue for him over the past 3 seasons. Núñez, on the other hand, brings energy and unpredictability, but his finishing still leaves a lot to be desired. Carragher's basically saying, imagine what this team could do with a truly world-class number 9 leading the line. Then there's the attacking midfield role. Liverpool have talent there, but Carragher thinks they could do better than Dominic Szoboszlai, Curtis Jones, and Harvey Elliott in that advanced role. Szoboszlai started the season brilliantly but has faded a bit. Jones has had his moments but isn't quite at that elite level yet, and Elliott, while full of potential, still has some developing to do. And finally, the left side of defence. Andy Robertson has been one of Liverpool's best signings in the modern era, but this season under Slot, he's struggled to hit the heights we're used to. The way Liverpool are setting up tactically has exposed some of his weaknesses, and Carragher believes the club should be looking at someone who can play both left-back and left-sided centre-back to give the team more balance. Speaking on Sky Sports News, Carragher made it clear that he trusts Liverpool's recruitment team. They've built a title-winning squad before, and he believes they know what they're doing. But even with that faith, he admitted that he'd have liked to see the club bring in another defender in January. He's got that same feeling that every Liverpool fan has: excitement when transfers are happening, frustration when they aren't, and a bit of nervousness when the squad looks a little thin in certain areas. In the end, Liverpool had a quiet deadline day, with the only real movement being young Jadon Downs going out on loan to Sunderland. Tyler Morton, meanwhile, stayed put after Middlesbrough decided not to meet Liverpool's valuation. But looking ahead to the summer, you can bet this is a conversation that's not going away. So, what do you think? Should Liverpool go all out for a new striker, midfielder, and defender in the summer? Let me know in the comments. Last but not least, let's talk about Harvey Elliott, because there are some whispers going around that his time at Liverpool might not be as secure as it once seemed. The lad struggled for minutes this season, and now, there are reports that the club could actually consider letting him go, with Brighton and Borussia Dortmund both sniffing around. Now, this isn't just any player we're talking about. Elliott is a proper Liverpool lad. He's supported the club since he was a kid, went to Kiev with his dad to watch that Champions League final against Real Madrid in 2018, and he's always worn the shirt with pride. But football's a brutal game, and if he's not getting the playing time he needs to develop, he's going to have to start thinking about his future. For whatever reason, it looks like Onslaught just doesn't see him as a key part of his plans. There's no denying Elliott's talent. He's technical, intelligent, and a fighter on the pitch. But stylistically, he might not fit the way Slot wants to play. And if that's the case, it's no surprise that Liverpool are already looking at potential replacements. One name that suddenly shot onto the radar? Andrija Maksimovic. If you haven't heard of him yet, don't worry, because it looks like you're going to. The 17-year-old Serbian midfielder is one of the brightest young talents coming through right now, already making waves in Crvena Zvezda's first team. And Liverpool? Well, they've been watching him closely. In fact, his agent, Zoran Stojadinovic, has confirmed that Liverpool have made an offer, alongside clubs like Aston Villa, RB Leipzig, and Atletico Madrid. Apparently, the big sticking point right now is the price. His club could be holding out for as much as €20 million, £16.7 million, whereas if he was available for €10 million, £8.4 million, the deal might already be done. Maksimovic is a fascinating player. He's got size, technical ability, and can operate as an advanced midfielder, which makes him a perfect fit for the type of profile Slot wants in that role. He's even played on the right wing and as a right back, showing he's got the versatility that Liverpool love in their midfielders. Some are already comparing him to a young Dominic Szoboszlai, which tells you everything about the kind of skill set he brings to the table. And this is exactly where things get interesting, because while Elliott is a fantastic player, he just might not be the type of midfielder Slot wants to build around. Maksimovic, on the other hand, could be a much more natural fit for this system. It's a tough one, because you never want to see a proper Liverpool lad leave. But football moves fast, and if Elliott isn't getting the game time he needs, maybe a fresh start somewhere else could be the best thing for him. Meanwhile, Maksimovic could be the next big thing to come through the doors at Anfield. What do you reckon? Should Liverpool hold on to Elliott and give him more chances, or is it time to look ahead to the next generation? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Liverpool updates. Up the Reds!